Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year and welcome to my new setup. So this year started off a little bit slow for me. I know I always mention in all my past videos it's so busy, but it's always been busy and it will always stay busy, so it's just something that I'm gonna have to get used to. For this video I kind of wanted to share with you my reading goals for 2024. Not necessarily specific books that I want to read, but just like reading and book content in general that I want to share. So the first thing I want to address is of course my new setup. I'm in my bedroom and I changed up my bedroom so I could have like a better setup for my channel. In the past, first I was in my daughter's room where I do still have my bookshelf in there, but I really just wanted to keep her room and my room separate. I felt really bad about, having to use her room for my own purposes, so that's why I ended up kind of moving to the living room. Also, I was kind of making it a mess with all the books and everything, so I felt kind of bad about that, so that's why I had moved it to the living room. I found the living room to be a little bit too dark, like the lighting in there wasn't the best, and although it was like a good and comfortable setup, once I changed up my room a little bit and I added a little desk and my books, I feel like this setup is a little bit better for me. I get to be a little bit closer to the camera, so I'm not yelling. Hopefully the sound is okay, and then you get to see like my desk, I guess. I'm still working on the decor of it. I recently got this table. I think I recorded a little bit of it in a vlog, which I hopefully will post soon, but I got this desk. It's like a foldable desk from Amazon, and I really just wanted like a really small desk for this room, one that I can like fold away and put away if I needed to, because this room is already really small and the bed takes up most of the space, and I just needed like a little space for me. So yeah, so I got the desk. Over there at the other end I have my trolley with some of my TBR, which I'm literally working on my TBR, constantly working on my TBR. It's never the same throughout the year, so that's still a work in progress. And yeah, so yeah, I hope that it's not too bright. It's obviously like the windows over there, so it's like really bright and hopefully not too like shiny on my face. It took me a while to kind of figure out where and how I wanted this to be set up. I think this is okay for now. Hopefully it's okay for future videos as well. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go right into my reading goals for 2024. It's just like a short goal setting that I have for myself. So my first reading goal for 2024 is to read more literary fiction. So this year I read a wide range of books. I read middle grade, I read fantasy, I think, I read horror and mysteries and some literary, and I discovered that I really do enjoy literary fiction. And what I enjoyed about literary fiction is the attention to detail and the slow pace. For some books like let's say like mystery and horror, some of them could be very fast paced, especially mystery could sometimes be a little fast paced, which is fine and I totally enjoyed and I liked. But this year I do want to kind of focus a little bit more on literary fiction. Doesn't mean that I'm not gonna pick up any other of those genres. I probably will, but what I did enjoy, like I said, about literary fiction is its slow pace, the attention to detail, and character development. I really enjoyed that, going into the mind of the character and getting to know them and how they think and how they rationalize their behavior, and us asking questions, us knowing the right answers, but knowing that the character might not choose to do the right thing. That's what I enjoyed. The two books that I really enjoyed reading, I'm not necessarily sure if they're literary fiction, but they're definitely slow paced in the way that the authors wrote them. And that was Rouge by Mona Awad and Death of a Bookseller by, I believe, Alice Slater. I enjoyed how unhinged they became in the end, and you know, how they rationalized their behaviors. Yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna go into like a deep thought into exactly what I like, but it was also kind of relatable in many ways and very close to what humans day to day struggle with, which I really enjoyed. I like characters with a little bit more nuance, characters that maybe ask questions, that are maybe critical, different kind of characters. And I think literary fiction has a lot of that. There are some maybe tropes that are followed in some literary fiction, but I think it's not like that, like it is for maybe mystery or a horror or a fantasy book, where you see a lot of the repetitive tropes a lot of the times, and you can kind of figure out what's going to happen. You can predict the end, you know. They're not, literary fiction I find is not as predictable, and I think that's what I really enjoyed about, you know, those two books and many other books that I read this year that were literary fiction. I'm not sure if this year is going to be the year of the unhinged woman again, because I feel like we've been getting the year of the unhinged woman for a few years now, but I don't mind it. But I'm also excited to delve into other dynamic characters, and I'm also excited to find out what kind of other books are out there. And yeah, that is what is appealing to me with literary fiction. So my second reading goal for 2024 is to not be afraid to DNF books. I know a lot of people have been talking about not being afraid to DNF. It's definitely a goal of mine. I felt like last year I did do a better job at DNFing books. I actually felt really good for some of the books that I decided to DNF because they weren't bringing me any pleasure. They were kind of putting me in reading slumps, which is really annoying because I hate going through reading slumps. And yeah, so I really definitely started to set books aside. However, I do find that because I judge books by their cover, it has a nice cover, so therefore it should have a nice story. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, should I continue? Should I put this down? I kind of bought it, so I should probably continue. You know, there's that guilt that I feel not wanting to put it down because I spent money on it. I think being a little bit more decisive maybe in the books that I pick, like in the books that I purchase, like maybe not always relying on the cover to choose a book. Obviously I shouldn't do that. Maybe reading part of the synopsis would help me a little bit more. I tend to sometimes not read the synopsis and go by ear, or whether I've seen books here or there. Maybe reading part of the synopsis will help me judge whether a book would be good for me or not. Last year I decided to DNF Cleopatra and Frankenstein, or Frankenstein and Cleopatra. Thank goodness I actually ended up borrowing that book from the library because I did not like that book. I think I DNF'd it halfway through, maybe at 40%, I can't remember, 30 or 40%, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like the characters. I felt like we didn't get enough backstory about Cleo, you know, Cleo, who was struggling mentally. She was struggling with depression, and we didn't get her perspective a lot of times. We were getting the perspective of other characters about what they thought of her based on her looks and all that stuff, which was really superficial. And I couldn't do this book anymore. So I just ended up returning that to the library, and that was a book that I specifically chose because of the cover and the title. I kind of assumed that it would be about something else, but I did kind of, you know, when you do see the cover and you see like a painted cover, which was really beautiful, and then the front cover, who I'm assuming is Cleo, she has a black eye, so obviously maybe she's going through abuse with her partner. And yeah, I don't even think I got to that part in the book. I couldn't go any further with it. As beautiful as the cover was, I couldn't go any further with the book. I didn't necessarily, I liked the writing wasn't bad, but I didn't like the characters. And it was a slow-paced book, and I do like I said, I do like slow-paced books, but I couldn't do it with these characters. These characters were just annoying, unrelatable, superficial. I just couldn't do it. So that's why I ended up DNFing it. And it was a library book, so I was happy about it. My fan just went on there. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. I definitely will continue to DNF books, but I think that at the beginning, like maybe choosing a book, I'll probably be a little bit more picky about the books that I choose to read. Whether I'm judging it by its cover, or whether I hear a little bit of your reviews, or whether I'm reading the synopsis, I'll use kind of all of those things to help me decide whether or not I should read a book. So, and I won't feel bad also. I probably should have added that into my goals as well. I won't feel bad if I've chosen not to read a book that everybody else is choosing to read. Even if I decide that in the long run I never want to read a certain book, I won't feel bad about it, because a lot of the times I hear about these books, I hear about so many books like what's the one that came out, like Iron Flame, for example. I mean, it's not a literary fiction, so I'm definitely not gonna pick it up. Everybody's reading it though. Everybody's reading it. I'm seeing it everywhere on social media, at the bookstore, on BookTube, and those are the things that would compel somebody like me to be like, okay, let me just go to the bookstore, let me buy it, or let me borrow it from the library and see if I like it. I know I'm not gonna like it, so therefore I'm not gonna feel bad if I choose to not read a book that everybody else is reading. So that's probably another goal there too. The next goal for this year is to join book clubs. Now, I did actually join some book clubs last year. I started in, I think like the middle of the year, or just after fall started kind of thing, like maybe like October, September, October is when I joined an in-person book club, and it's been a really great experience. I'm a very like introverted and shy person at first, and to get me to meet new people is very daunting and a very scary experience to have to go through. But after joining this book club, I've been able to meet new people who like to read, and we've been able to sit down and discuss books together, which is pretty amazing and pretty fun. As a mom, I gave birth to my daughter 4 years ago, but she is pretty much a COVID baby, and so we have been kind of indoors for a very long time, not being able to meet new people, and just kind of closed in and closed off. So having to be able to come out of my shell, leaving my daughter for a little bit to kind of do something for me, it's been a really great experience, and I'm really liking that, and I'm really enjoying that. And yeah, it's something that I'm definitely going to keep going through in 2024. My next reading goal for 2024, and this one is not necessarily reading and more related to my channel, and that is to get better with my technology. So I mean, I think I'm doing pretty well considering the fact that I don't have that much technology. Well, no, that's a lie. I do have a lot of technology. I have a camera, I have my phone, I have my computer, I have all the necessary things that I need to make a channel, which is perfect, totally fine. But I feel that I can maybe do better. I could do better with the sound. I could do better with the lighting. There's certain things that I just kind of want to work on when it comes to the technology and the tech gear with my channel. Now, maybe a lot of it is related to consumerism and what I see other people using and having on their own channels. I don't want to go overboard, obviously, but I do want to do what I can to make my experience of making a video and your experience of watching the video a lot better. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, that's my goal for the book channel. And the last goal I have for 2024, and another one kind of related to my channel, is not to get too hard on myself if I can't make my BookTube goals, or if I don't make my BookTube goals. This is literally a side project. I do it for fun, and I feel like I should just try to keep doing it for the fun of it. This year, or actually last year, and even the start of 2024 has been a very, very busy period for me, you know, between being a mom and having a full-time job and everything just becoming more expensive. There's been a lot to balance, and I don't want to put too much pressure on myself if I can't make certain things work for my BookTube channel. Working on this channel, although fairly slowly, has been a relief for me, and it's been a relief that I need to get away from other pressures. It's been a very good creative avenue for me, especially. I find that like creatively, my mind has been kind of thinking up all the things that I would like to do for this channel, all the books that I would like to read for this channel. So creatively, like, my mind is like always kind of working on my channel. I just want to do what I can to make my experience of reading and making videos a fun one. I also want to make the experience for you watching hopefully a fun and enjoyable one as well. Some of my BookTube goals are to be better at documenting the books that I'm reading. I find that a lot of the times, like, because I read a lot of books at the same time, documenting specifically what I'm reading was a little bit difficult for me last year. So I think documenting the books a little bit better for 2024 would be good, you know, having maybe like a video for, you know, 2 books that I'm reading this week or something like that. That's one that I'm working on. Another goal is, like I mentioned, to work on my lighting, work on my technology. Another goal is to add more B-roll into my videos and to not be afraid to try new things. Just trying new things, I think, for this channel, I think would be very fun, not just for you to watch, but for me to do. I think it would be a lot of fun just coming up with like creative, fun, interesting, new ideas for reading. I think would be really great to share on the channel. And the last goal that I have for the BookTube channel is to attempt a 24-hour readathon. That is one thing that I've been seeing a lot of people do, is the 24-hour readathon thing. I don't think that I can do like a whole 24-hour readathon, but I think I would probably like maybe break it up or something like that. But anyways, those are just some of the goals for 2024 that I have and that I'm hoping to achieve, but also not put too much pressure on myself. I do still want to have a lot of fun with this channel, and I want to have fun reading books. That's my goal. Have fun reading books. So yes, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Please feel free to like and subscribe down below and let me know what your goals are for 2024 and what books you're reading for 2024. I'll have one of those videos up very soon, hopefully, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!